I don't think it's no pressure because Canelo is used to being in these situations. So, I think he's comfortable where he at. I think he's confident in his skills and his ability, and he's going to go out there and do what he got to do to get the job done.
Terence "Bud" Crawford has fired a warning at Canelo Alvarez that he will finish him early as they meet in the ring. With a mindset as dangerous as his skill set, Crawford is promising a statement victory, one that could shake up the entire boxing world.
Listen, I told my boy Jazz, I already caught the biggest fish in Texas. About to get out here and get it in. I see the water. I know who the #1 fisherman is. Even big fish get caught.
Along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes? If Canelo become undisputed again and I beat Canelo, what could they say? They'll say something, but what
they're gonna find something, you know that.
But what can they really say?
Right.
Furthermore, Caleb Plant, who has firsthand experience fighting Canelo Alvarez, feels that Canelo is a significantly different fighter today, that he has improved much since they fought. Plant added that Canelo's fighting style is now more polished, with crisper defense, better footwork, and a more patient, calculating style inside the ring.
No, I don't think it's the same Canelo. Not quite, but also I kind of figured it was going to be like that, honestly. I heard Canelo say in the interview, like, I don't really like fighting guys who move around that much like that, and William Skull being a Cuban fighter, like, I knew he was going to do that. And so was curious to see, how Canelo would handle that. And, he kept the ring off well, but that guy I felt like he didn't really want no part. Man, I don't know. You may think about it for a second and say, oh, well, there's weight classes for a reason, right? But Crawford's a special guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it's going to be a great fight. And I'm just a fan on that one. Just want to see a good fight, and I think it will be.
He also wanted Crawford that Canelo appears to be adjusting better to various opponents, being more powerful and having better ring IQ. In Plant's view, these adjustments make Canelo an even more formidable and well-rounded fighter, able to switch up his game plan during a fight to take advantage of whatever weakness he notices.
I felt like he didn't really want no part, and it makes for not as appetizing fight, but still got that fight in September with him and Crawford. I think it's a stylistic matchup, and William Skull don't fight nothing like Terence Crawford. So we're not going to see the same type of fight come September. I think we're going to see a great fight, real good fight.
Furthermore, Plant discussed potentially rematching against Canelo and showed clear his stance about his chances. He insisted that were he to receive another chance, he would step into the fight with improved techniques, a more intelligent game plan, and experience to overcome Canelo. Plant is certain that the knowledge gained from their initial encounter has made him better equipped to make the most out of a second chance and turn the tables on Canelo.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
What about Crawford?
As soon as we fought, the next day I'm like, man, if we fight again, I'm gonna beat him. That's just that's how I feel. I feel like, okay, a few minor adjustments, get the job done.
Fresh off his win against Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Romero believes that Crawford doesn't stand a chance of beating Canelo, primarily due to the extreme difference in weight and size.
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with weight.
In Raleigh's opinion, even though Crawford is incredibly talented and skilled, the physical difference between the two would be far too great to overcome. He stressed that size does matter at the elite level, and Canelo's natural power and strength at the higher weights would be a clinching benefit. Similarly, popular NFL player Max Crosby weighed in on the possible fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. He thinks it would be a straight-up dogfight, but gives the advantage to Canelo. Crosby noted that Canelo's size difference would probably be the deciding factor. He foresaw the fight going the distance, perhaps being decided by a split decision, with Canelo winning. Crosby further stated that it would most probably be among the greatest bouts viewers have ever seen.
That's almost impossible to answer. That's going to be an absolute dogfight. I have to go Canelo. I think he's a little bit bigger, and I think that's going to work to his advantage, but that'll be one of the best fights, period.
Knockout or decision?
Decision. I think it might be a split.
In addition, Crawford will be boxing Canelo like Mayweather did, and evading his hard shots that he employs to take rounds. The work rate of the Mexican star has declined in recent bouts, but he can still win rounds on the basis of cleaner, harder punches that he delivers. Bud will most probably be changing stances all the time, hoping to get Canelo out of rhythm. It could be a waste of time. Remaining in one position would be the wiser move, since Alvarez is not a novice who will be diverted by Crawford's gimmickry. In the same way, American boxer Jaron Boots Ennis isn't sugarcoating if he believes Terence Crawford is walking into serious danger against Canelo Alvarez. Ennis made it clear that as much as he admires Crawford's phenomenal talent, he believes you have to favor Canelo in this fight. He explained that Canelo has been knocking out much larger does on a consistent basis, not even being an actual super middleweight himself. As a matter of fact, Ennis mentioned, Canelo might even be fighting at 160 pounds, but he's been taking out fighters coming into the ring weighing nearly 200 pounds on fight night.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be driving these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it.
On the other hand, Ennis also suggested that Crawford must have a tune-up fight at 160 pounds before going after Canelo. This would allow him time to get used to facing heavier opponents and build up the proper strength instead of going directly into the deep end. Ennis stressed that remaining sharp and preventing a lengthy layoff could be the difference between winning and losing.
I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body to filling up somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavy and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Conversely, Crawford said Canelo is used to being under pressure and doesn't believe he'll get any additional pressure, even with the potential mega fight against Crawford hanging in the balance. Crawford said the opportunity to fight Canelo is the largest part of his career, adding that it's a giant step in his quest to be considered great, something he's always sought by fighting up weight classes and challenging himself.
I'm very excited. You know, this is the biggest fight of my career if it happened, and I'm just looking forward to it. I'm excited. It's very exciting. It's like throwing gasoline on a bucket of fire. You know, I'm very competitive, and I'm looking to be competitive in a fight in September.
Another boxer, Teofimo Lopez, also added his prediction. According to him, first and foremost, he is on the side of the people because they should get to watch the best fight the best. Despite Crawford having to move up 3 weight divisions to fight Canelo, Teofimo is still on the side of his stablemate, Canelo Alvarez, winning the bout.
To be honest, first and foremost, you know, I favor the fans. We want to see a great fight. We want to see the best fight the best. Even if the Crawford got to go up 3 weight classes to face the best and the king in the face of boxing of Canelo Alvarez, but I'm still going to go with my stablemate, Canelo Alvarez, with the win. Now, what decision? I think it's a late knockout. If not, it might end in 6.
Moreover, Israel Madrimov shared his bold take on the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup, which looks set for September. Madrimov believes the fight is extremely competitive and called it 50-50 battle.
If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think.
Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, what do you think about that fight if they did fight? Looks like it's up for September.
Good fight. You know, if 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique because 50-50.
He said that if the battle goes the distance of 12 rounds, he prefers Terence Crawford to win by decision due to Crawford's higher ring IQ, clever strategy, and extensive experience. But in a knockout, Madrimov credits the obvious edge to Canelo, noting Canelo's strength at 168 pounds and finishing ability.
If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
He has power, smart, in more practical.
Madrimov also said Crawford is such a hard man to fight. His power, brains, and vast experience. In his view, Crawford's ability to evolve and remain wise under pressure makes him one of the most formidable tests Canelo might encounter, but size and brute power at super middleweight might bias the scales in Alvarez's favor. Consequently, Crawford lacks speed and power compared to Canelo's recent opponent, William Skull. That individual is quicker, younger, larger, and a better striker. Alvarez defeated him handily, taking advantage of his power deficiency and aggressiveness to win by wide 12-round unanimous decision.
Eso. Venga. 5, venga. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eso. Enjoy.
Above all, Terence is a world-class fighter at 154, but you can't say that at 168 because he's elected not to take a tune-up. It doesn't matter if he's top 15 at junior middleweight because he's gonna be fighting at super middleweight. That's a whole different ball game.
There you go. No, I'm saying boom. So then when you see boom, this is protecting you. This is right here. You know what I mean? Because look, if I throw a hook, no, I'm saying, if I'm here, boom, and you throw a hook, I'm just gonna turn.
Also, we don't know how Crawford is after being out of the ring for a year and winning by a close margin over Israel Madrimov. The way that Crawford appeared, he'd lose to Madrimov in a rematch and would also have identical issues with Bakhram Murtazaliev, Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fundora, Jorge Garcia Perez, and Janibek Alimkhanuly. Significantly, Mario Lopez stated that he is a fan of big events and looking forward to the fight, appreciating both boxers. Yet Lopez added that the size difference may become a big obstacle for Crawford, although he is a huge fan of Crawford's abilities. Lopez said Crawford is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. He also added Crawford's killer instinct, mean streak, and relentless determination to find ways to win, saying he's still a big supporter of Bud.
The schmo knows you love your combat sports. What do you make of Canelo, Terence Crawford? Crawford. It's looking like Sin City in the fall. What do you make of that matchup?
I like big events, and I like that matchup. I like both fighters. I think the size disparity might be a little too much for Crawford to handle as much as I like him, but I think it'll be a great event.
But he can fight anywhere. He can go southpaw. He can go standard. He could do it all.
He's one of the best pound for pound, ambidextrous, dangerous. He's got a mean streak. I love him. Dude finds ways to win. Big fan.
Meanwhile, not everyone is favoring Terence Crawford's move up to face Canelo Alvarez. Among the critics is famous journalist Stephen A. Smith, who expressed serious doubts, came out swinging with an opinion of his own. He wasn't shy, directly pointing to the size discrepancy as a big red flag. He pushed the point that although Crawford is very gifted, the size disadvantage is too great to ignore.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jermell Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life, and he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it and lost fight number 2. Trained him for Rocky 3 and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
Moreover, Adam Jones gave his take on a potential matchup by picking Crawford to win. Jones stressed that Crawford is an extreme professional. Jones is counting on Crawford's mentality and work ethic to be the deciding factor. He brushed aside worries about the size disparity, stating it would not be an issue and voicing belief that Crawford would jump up in weight and still get the job done on Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Bud Crawford. How do you think that thing plays out?
T. Crawford.
T. Crawford?
Fucking monster, bro.
By finish, or does it go the distance?
I done tried to buy T. Crawford like 20 drinks. Like, took him to the strip club, took him to the regular club, won't drink nothing, and won't spin nothing. Do you hear what I said?
He doesn't spin?
Don't spin.
Doesn't drink?
Don't drink.
Well, that's how you know he's on the straight and narrow path.
Oh, what you said. What you said. What you said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we got him. No size difference. Nothing doesn't matter. He's going to go up there. He's going to take care of business.
Yeah. I think T. Crawford going to take care of business. I like that fight. He ain't got to lose much weight. He can come in strong.
As the buzz around Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown continues to grow, one thing is clear. This is a fight the world wants to see. 2 of boxing's best, each a master of their craft, meeting under the bright lights for history. Who do you think has the bigger advantage, Canelo's size or Crawford's skill set? If the fight goes to the scorecards, who do you trust more to pull out the decision? Let us know who you're picking in the comments.